Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're here in Provo doing a sewer scope. I've got the camera pushed out as far as I can get it. And we're only 84 feet out. We're not yet to the city connection. We're at 708 East, 3900 North in Provo. So like I said, I have the camera pushed out as far as I can get it. Even running water, usually that'll help push me out a little bit further, which in some cases I can get out another 50 feet when I start running water. Here it helped me push out another 10 feet or so, but really not far. So there's a big section of the line that we're not seeing here. I'm going to give it a minute for this water to kind of die down. I didn't see an access point outside, and I only found a pretty tough spot to get through. So I'm going through the basement. There's a more direct shot that I found with a proper clean out, but they put a stud right in front of it, and so you can't remove the cap to actually access that line. So in the basement, behind the tub, there's the sewage ejection pump. I disconnected one of the fittings, pushed my line through a tight turn, and surprisingly was still able to get out over 80 feet, but there's still a section of pipe that we're not seeing. You want to have a proper access point added somewhere. This line needs to be cleaned, and so you're going to see that as we pull it back, but it would be good to have an access point added, or just know that you're going to have to probably remove toilets to be able to access the line properly, which not only is more difficult, but also generally is going to add to the expense, whoever you're paying to access the line. So running water is okay. What you don't want to see is standing water, like that. That indicates bad grade, where you have a low spot or a belly. Looks like maybe a little tiny offset there where the pipe was a little bit, had a little bit of a shoulder. I saw some debris in there. It would be important to have this line cleaned, because I did see some roots, but I would be curious whether this still has standing water once it's been cleaned. If you still have standing water after, that means that it's purely bad grade or a bad enough offset that it's causing it to hold this water. If it drains once you have it cleaned, great. That would mean that it's just roots or something causing it to hold water. But you always want everything to drain on its own with gravity. Otherwise, it's much more likely to cause a blockage and back up. So this section of the pipe is newer. This is plastic. Further out, it looks like it might have been transite from what I could tell. So here's some roots. This is going to be a maintenance issue where once you have roots, you're always going to have roots. Something that you want to have cleaned out. It would also be good, once you have it cleaned, to have it scoped again. You know, sometimes all that water and debris where we're not able to see, there can be defects there. Once the roots are out, you're going to be able to see more. And then also, if they pull a toilet, they might be able to get their camera out further. Once I get to the end of the line, I'll be able to show you how I access this line. But going through a different spot would definitely make it easier to push the camera out further. This is how you want the line to look. No standing water, no roots, really not a lot of buildup. This is what you want. Starting to see some more standing water, which is not good, and then it dropped off again. This is all flat, and I think at this point we're probably under the house, which means so when you have standing water under the house, that means you have to open up the slab in the basement or in this case, probably in the crawl space, the front of the house. I think it's running through there, and so in either case, it's a tough spot to get to. In some ways, it would be easiest out in the yard, because digging up the lawn with nothing above it is a lot easier than digging through a crawl space where it's all buried. So as I mentioned, this is basement bathroom. There's the tub, there's the ejection pump, and then this is the joint that I went through. So when the injection pump goes off, it pushes everything up into this pipe, then it goes down into the lateral line where it goes out with gravity. That's the clean out cap that I would have loved to have gone through, but they had that stud covering it, and so I had to go through this turn here, and then it goes down into the lateral line. It all goes into the same spot, but this turn makes it a lot harder because I'm pushing my reel up through that joint, which makes it harder to get out as far. So just to recap, there are some roots in the line that need to be cleaned out. I wasn't able to see the entire line. You definitely had some flat spots. One looked like it was in the crawl space, which would be a very difficult spot to get to. So I'd recommend first having it cleaned, then having it scoped again, and then having the specialist give you a price to make more permanent repairs, which could require digging up the line and resloping it in at least 2 areas. I'm going to end this recording now.